there's a pretty high potential that I might not be able to find this thing unless I go out the morning and this is released, and there's hope it's at my local Best Buy. Hi guys, Keeter64 here, and today we're going to be talking about the physical media release, the Blu-ray 4K releases for the month of December in the year 2021. This is another one of those release videos, yes, and I'm very excited to go ahead and get this one out there. There are some cool releases this month. This is just my list. These are my picks. I'm not going over every single release. I try and hit a good swath of movies when I'm picking and putting together this list of things that I'm interested in, some mainstream releases, and some things that I think you guys might be interested in. And if anything's not on this list that you know is coming out, please comment and let me know because I may have missed it. With all that said, let's go ahead and jump into this. I split this up by chapters, and that's probably how I'm going to be doing it from now on. I do these release videos every single month and talk about movies, so please subscribe if that is something you're interested in. With all that said, let's go ahead and jump into it. First section up is new releases. So the first release we're going to be talking about is Cry Macho. This was a Clint Eastwood movie starring Clint Eastwood. So, man, I can't believe he's still doing movies. I have not seen Cry Macho. I've heard some mixed reactions about it, even from people who like Clint Eastwood movies. I'm surprised it just doesn't move more into the director's chair, because at this point, I mean, I actually thought Mule would be the last movie that he did, which was okay. But yeah, Clint Eastwood, he props to him, man. He is putting some work in still. And what is he, like 80 something at this point? Good on him. If anybody's checked out Cry Macho, let me know what you guys think, because I haven't heard too much about it. Next up is The Last Duel, starring Matt Damon, Adam Driver, and Ben Affleck. So Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are in a movie again, and it's not Good Will Hunting 2. Man, who else wants Good Will Hunting 2? Remember they were filming the sequel in Jay and Silent Bob of Good Will Hunting 2? Yeah, sorry, sidetrack there. Last Duel. This looks pretty interesting. I remember when it came out, a lot of people said it was pretty good. It didn't do that well at the box office, but then again, a lot of movies are still recovering. The box office is still recovering. We still have to wait and see if theaters will bounce back in the way some people hope that they do. I hope that they do. So I have not seen The Last Duel, but I heard it was pretty good. So I'd like to see this one when it comes out. I don't know if I'll buy it, but I would like to see it. I am interested in it. Next up is Venom, Let There Be Carnage. This is Venom 2. I did a review on Venom back in the day, and I basically made jokes about the fact that it's a Sony movie, and Sony's they put so much product placement in their movies, and they just don't, in my opinion, Sony just doesn't put out good movies. There were some things I liked about the first Venom. I thought Tom Hardy was good. I liked the Venom character, and I thought that they worked well together. But the whole plot outside of those two characters working was just B-movie, backwards for superhero films. Like, it just was very subpar. Average is the best I would say about it. However, I was interested in seeing Woody Harrelson as Carnage. I still have not seen the second Venom. I probably will check it out now that it's actually coming out, but I don't know if I'll buy it. I didn't buy the first one either. Typically, when I buy movies, it's going to be something that I've already seen and know that I'm going to watch it multiple times. Sometimes I will just take a shot in the dark, usually when it comes to Black Friday or some kind of sale that if it's low enough to where I'll take a chance on it and buy it, I do that as well. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to buy Venom 2. Probably not, but I am interested in checking it out. This was something I almost missed, the Mitchells versus the Machines. Yeah, I remember seeing a little bit about this when it first came out. It seemed to just disappear and fizzle out, and I completely forgot it even existed until I was seeing what was actually releasing. And one of the main sites I used to make this list didn't even have it on there. So Mitchell versus the Machines is coming out, and if you're a fan of like animated movies, it's like on the box it says that it's from the humans that brought you Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Lego Movie. That's probably just the producers. It probably isn't the creative types. Matter of fact, I actually know that I'm fairly positive it isn't, because I know Lord and Miller did a Lego Movie. So that's probably fairly irrelevant. But if anybody's seen Mitchell versus the Machines, I'd be interested to see what you guys think about it, because again, I just remember this being advertised and then just disappearing. Next up is No Time to Die, which is the most recent 007 movie. This is the ending of Daniel Craig. This is his last movie he's in. I actually thought the last movie would be the last movie that he's in. He's getting older. Some of the Daniel Craig movies I like. I think Casino Royale is probably my top 5 James Bond movies. Quantum of Solace was not so good. It was okay, not very good. And then you had Skyfall, which I thought Skyfall was really good. I think it just misses out on my top 5. Might be in there, I don't know. I hated Spectre. I thought Spectre was just a big missed opportunity when you had that cast and the plot set up, build up to that, and they just thought they missed it. As far as No Time to Die, I don't know if I have time to watch No Time to Die. I probably will, to be honest. I own every James Bond movie back there, except for Spectre. Actually, I think I did buy Spectre, believe it or not, even though I have no intention of ever rewatching that for the most part. But either way, No Time to Die is coming out. Many Saints of Newark, which is the Sopranos prequel. I'm pretty sure it's a prequel. I've seen some episodes of Sopranos. It is right up my alley as far as stuff that I'm interested in. And yes, the show's been out forever. I've still not gotten around to sit down and actually watch all of it, but it's on my list of things to watch. So I haven't seen this because obviously I want to watch the actual main show first, although the ending's already been spoiled. It was spoiled when it first came out because some other friends were in The Sopranos at the time. But I've heard this prequel was actually pretty good, and I'm surprised that it's getting a physical media release. This seemed like something HBO would want to hold on to and keep exclusive on their streaming service. This seems to be what streaming services like to do these days. Keep their movies and TV shows exclusive on their streaming service. So the only way you can watch these movies and things is to subscribe to their service. HBO's a little bit better at it than, well, actually, I'd say HBO's pretty good about it. In comparison to other things, like if you see Hulu originals, they aren't really getting physical media releases. These Disney Plus exclusives, I'd love to buy The Mandalorian, buy the physical copy of Mandalorian. They're never going to release that. They want you to subscribe to their stupid streaming service. So props to HBO for releasing Many States of Newark on physical media on 4K. Next up's an anime movie, which is Demon Slayer, the Mugen Train. I don't know how you actually say that. I actually had some friends who when we were traveling, we were going to go watch this movie. I'd never seen Demon Slayer, and one of my friends showed me the first episode of the show. I thought it was really good. I haven't got around to watching it again. It's on my list of things to watch. But I didn't watch the movie because the movie takes place right after the ending, I guess, of the first season. And I don't really want to jump ahead. So I haven't watched the movie yet. But I've heard it's really good. And it even incentivizes me to watch the show and get to the movie. And it actually did pretty well in the box office, considering it's a anime release. They tend to not do also great, but this one actually did pretty well. So I am actually looking forward to checking out this movie. Next up is Cop Shop, which stars Gerard Butler. I don't really know anything about this thing. It says it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, which to me means absolutely nothing. The critics that give these freshness ratings, I very rarely agree with them anymore. And so it means absolutely nothing to me. But it says it right on the box, so I figured I'd throw it out there. I don't really know anything about this movie, so if anybody's seen that, let me know. This also was not on the main site I used to put together these lists. So this one, and there was another movie, Dangerous, with Mel Gibson. Yeah, it has Mel Gibson, Scott Eastwood, who is Clint Eastwood's son. He's been in a couple other movies as well. Femke Janssen, who you guys may know from X-Men or GoldenEye, because I mentioned that earlier. Tyrese Gibson, or I used to call him Chief Tyrese, because of Transformers, where he literally goes from a tech sergeant to a chief in one movie, which... What? That doesn't happen. So the cast looks really good. I don't know anything about this. I didn't check any reviews for it. I don't know anything about it, which sometimes is the best way to go into a movie. So this one I'm actually interested to check out, as long as I don't find anything out about it. Another animated movie, Ron's Gone Wrong. I remember seeing some stuff about this. Didn't really care too much about it, but Either way, it is a mainstream release that's coming out. Again, not on my main list. I actually found it was coming out on Best Buy, I think. So that's interesting that I thought this was a pretty mainstream studio release, and there really hasn't been too much about it. So again, I think it's just one of the things that happened this past year with box office releases. They just get pigeonholed. Next up is older releases. This is fairly self-explanatory as well. These are releases of older movies that are getting re-releases, or they're getting first-time 4K up conversions and so forth. The first thing I want to talk about is the most exciting movie of the month. I think for me, it's up there, and that is Roger Rabbit. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is getting a 4K treatment, 4K release for the first time ever. I do own the Blu-ray of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, so I'm excited to see how the 4K turned out. I actually like the art on the cover. The slip looks really nice. There's also a steelbook, which we'll talk about when we get to the steelbook section, but I am excited to check this one out. This is definitely one of the ones that I will be buying, and I wanted to pre-order, and again, I'll get into that when I get to the steelbook section. But yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, very good. Hard Target, which is a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. I want to say I've seen this. I don't really remember. I've never really been a big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. I mean, when it comes to like action, action stars, he's better than Steven Seagal, I guess. But overall, just not really. I'm going to take it or leave it when it comes to Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. It's not like they're must-watch movies for me personally. Nothing against them or anything. But yeah, Hard Target's coming out. Beavis and Butthead Do America. I mean, this is classic MTV, essentially. Beavis and Butthead. I don't really have anything to say about it. I feel like that speaks for itself in the title. Krampus, The Naughty Cut. I don't know which version of Krampus this is, which movie this is. There's been multiple Krampus movies that have come out. The first time I heard about Krampus was watching The League, where Taco dresses up as Krampus and goes around the mall and tries to take kids. And it turns out about how you would expect. But yeah, Krampus, one of the Krampus movies is coming out on 4K. Think of all the movies that come out in 4K, and you get Krampus movie on 4K before so many other good movies. So I don't have too much to say about this other than it's coming out, and it's a Charles Bronson movie, Violent City. I don't really know too much about Charles Bronson movies. I've heard of Charles Bronson, and I know that he made movies, and that's about my extent of his knowledge. But I wanted to throw this out there because I do have a friend who likes Charles Bronson movies, and he's actually commented a couple times and mentioned that I've skipped Charles Bronson releases. So I'm not skipping this one. I'm putting it on the list. That's what happens when you comment and let me know if I'm missing something. I'll make sure that I bring it up on the next video. Wolf of Wall Street is getting a 4K release. I own it on Blu-ray back there, and it is one of my favorite movies of that year. I go back and watch it every so often. This is the one that Leonardo DiCaprio should have won an Oscar for, but we all know Oscars are pointless political trophies that mean absolutely nothing and do not reflect the audience's view. But at least he got one for the Revenant. His performance in this was a lot better than in The Revenant, in my opinion, but whatever. Wolf of Wall Street is getting a 4K release. This is the first time it is released on 4K, as far as I can tell, because I don't remember it having a 4K release when it first came out. So I'm pretty sure this is a brand new 4K release. So I'm curious if there's going to be any differences to it. Typically, I don't do 4K upgrades to my existing Blu-rays unless it's a visual movie or an action movie, because it could benefit from a 4K release. Movies like this, I don't tend to upgrade like for dramas and things like that, because there's not really too much benefit you're going to get out of it. But I am curious as to what the picture turned out on the 4K release, and this is a great movie. The Red Shoes, which is a Criterion Collection release. This is a classic movie. I've never seen it. The cover looks cool. I'm kind of trying to watch some of the older classic movies, just because I haven't seen a whole lot of them. So maybe I'll check this one out, but I'm not gonna buy it because it's the Criterion Collection. I'm not gonna spend that amount of money on it, because I only have so much to spend each month, and I'm going to use it on other things like Roger Rabbit. There's a movie called My Stepmother is an Alien, and I don't know if I've ever heard of this. I don't think I've ever heard of this. It's an Arrow release, so it's going to be probably a pretty good release. Arrow and Criterion are kind of the prestige formats when it comes to doing these releases. Apparently, this had Dan Aykroyd and Kim Basinger, so that probably came out in the 80s, I guess. I wonder if anybody else remembers the movie. This seems like it's kind of a straight-to-TV movie. But it can't be, because Arrow wouldn't put a straight-to-TV movie out on physical media. I don't really see him doing that. It's interesting. I was caught by the cover. I thought the cover stood out as something that was interesting. And appropriately, Jack Frost and Jack Frost 2 are both being released on Blu-ray. And yeah, these are the horror movies. If you guys, whenever I think of Jack Frost, the first thing I think of is Rankin Bass, the claymation Jack Frost special. The second thing I think of is the Michael Keaton is a snowman movie. And then the third thing I think of is this thing. Actually, I take it back. The third thing I think of is Jack Frost from The Guardians. And then the fourth thing I think of is the Jack Frost, the horror movies. If you guys have never heard of these, I don't blame you. But they are kind of fun. If you just want to go on YouTube and see some clips from the movies, they're pretty crazy. Next section is the Steelbooks. I told you we'd be back to some Steelbooks, and we're talking about some Steelbooks. First up is the Steelbook I wanted to talk about the most, which was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. This was the Steelbook that I was most interested in getting. This is the Steelbook that I wanted. I think it looks great. I love the color usage in it. This is also not a common style that you get from Steelbook, so I like the art cover. Like I said, I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I think it's a great movie, and I'd love to upgrade from the Blu-ray, and I think it would benefit from the 4K upscale. I want this Steelbook. However, I wanted to pre-order it. I very rarely ever pre-order Steelbooks. I usually just try and find them after the fact, which has proven to be a fairly terrible idea. And I don't like buying movies from Best Buy, because they're known to ship Steelbooks and be damaged, and you're kind of out of luck if that is the case. So I hesitated on pre-ordering this for those reasons, and those who hesitate are lost. That's what they say anyway, because it is no longer available for pre-order on Best Buy's website. It just says coming soon, which, yeah, thanks Best Buy. I knew it was coming soon. I appreciate it. That's very helpful for me. You can still pre-order the basic 4K slip. I do like the art on the slip. However, I do tend to collect Steelbooks. I tend to pay the couple dollars extra to get Steelbooks, especially if the Steelbooks have great art like this one. And I'm really disappointed that there's a pretty high potential that I might not be able to find this thing unless I go out the morning this is released, and there's hope it's at my local Best Buy. But we shall see. You'll know, because I'll probably do a video talking about it if I actually end up finding it. Street Fighter, the movie, is getting a Blu-ray Steelbook release, and man, the art for this thing looks amazing. This is one of those like video game movies that is fun to watch. Like it's not really the best thing ever, but there's so many great lines in this, and this is my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. I mentioned Jean-Claude Van Damme earlier. I'll mention him again. This is my favorite movie that he's in, Street Fighter. You got M. Bison. One of the greatest lines, actually, this is probably the greatest line in any video game movie ever, which is, when I came to your village, it was the most important day of your life, but for me, it was a Tuesday. It's such a great line. I wonder if that was ad-libbed. I don't know. But I'm actually excited to watch this again. I haven't watched it in quite a while, and I don't own it either. So now is the time to get this with this amazing Steelbook with this great art on it. I am planning to get a new Steelbook display behind me, and this I would love to display back there. Wolf of Wall Street, the 4K, is also having a Steelbook, as I mentioned earlier, and the Steelbook looks pretty cool. It definitely is my kind of colors. I don't know if you noticed, but the whole theme and colors of my channel are blue and yellow, so it it works really well for that. It'd be great to display. And if I do decide to upgrade to the 4K, I will probably pay the couple extra bucks and get the Steelbook. It's kind of pricey. I do love the movie, but as I said before, I tend to not upgrade to 4Ks unless it's action movies or special effects type movies. But I do like the Steelbook. The Steelbook might have me sold on it. Venom Let There Be Carnage. This is the Steelbook. The Steelbook looks pretty nice, actually. I like the art style to it. I'm interested in seeing it, but I probably won't be buying it. I do like the art design, though. I like the idea that they just went with straight art for it instead of like pulling a picture and doing some kind of Photoshop manipulation on it. So yeah, at least it's original, or somewhat original. This is the No Time to Die Steelbook, which, as I mentioned before, is the latest 007 movie. And the Steelbook looks fairly similar to the Slip. At least visually on the colors. It just has that plain white background. It looks okay. I mean, if I was gonna buy it, I don't know if I'd pay the extra for the Steelbook or not, just based on how it visually looks. Next up is special releases. These are just special releases and collections, and the first thing we're gonna talk about is the Karate Kid, which includes the first 3 movies. It's interesting they completely omitted the next Karate Kid, or the Jackie Chan rebooted Karate Kid version. They just went with the core 3. At least they actually went with the core 3, because they previously had a collection, and it's somewhere back there on my shelf, and I bought it, and it only had 1 and 2. They didn't even have 3 included for some reason. I thought that was fairly strange on a Blu-ray release. Just had the first 2. So at least this one has the first 3, which is good. This is the first time releasing on 4K, so I'm interested on how that transfer turns out. I like the box art. I think the box art looks really nice. I would be more interested in getting this if they would actually release Cobra Kai, which is a great series. I want to buy the physical media of it on Blu-ray. They've released the first 2 seasons on DVD because those were with YouTube at the time. They did have physical media releases, but they just released the DVDs. It hasn't have a Blu-ray release, which is, at least not in North America, it hasn't. And there's no release for the 3rd one. I mean, it's on Netflix, and Netflix is, again, streaming services don't like to put out their stuff because they want you to subscribe to their service in order to watch it. But I'd be more enticed to buy this and build out a Karate Kid collection. As far as the 4K, yeah, I may be picking this one up. I haven't decided yet. That's really all I got for the special releases. And the last section we'll be talking about is the TV releases. First up is Andy Griffith's Show is getting a complete series Blu-ray release. There has been some seasons of Andy Griffith's Show released on Blu-ray before. I think this is the first time the whole collection's been out. I don't even think some of the seasons had individual Blu-ray releases. Not 100% sure. I think it's interesting you're getting a Blu-ray release of something that is this old. They did I Dream of Jeannie last month, which I was kind of surprised about. And but Andy Griffith's Show is like, that is just, if you want to feel good, watch the Andy Griffith Show. Whenever your faith in humanity is at its lowest, watch the Andy Griffith Show. You'll feel better about yourself and the world that you live in. They're also releasing a 2-pack of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. I already own Avatar: The Last Airbender on Blu-ray, so not really interested in this. I liked the first season of Legend of Korra, didn't really like the second season, and never watched the 3rd. I don't know if they did 4 seasons or not. I think they only did 3. But either way, Legend of Korra I thought was a missed opportunity. It's part of the reason I don't own it, because I don't really have any interest in going back to see it. However, Avatar: The Last Airbender is an amazing series. One thing that's interesting about this is it says this has 80 minutes of all new exclusive bonus features. It includes an interview with the creators, so that's the 80 minutes, and 8 collectible art cards, so that's kind of nice. I do like the art for the cover. I do want to tack this on really quickly. There's some of these releases may be delayed or have recalls or something. There are supply chain issues. There's some kind of issues with production on these discs. There have been recalls of several different things. Citizen Kane and Mad Max I talked about before. Scream never made it to shelves, or it was delayed multiple weeks before it actually got out there. So a lot of times I'll talk about these movies and they're supposed to come out in this month. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be. Because as we can tell from the previous couple months, they've had issues getting these things on the shelf. So I would not be surprised if something here suffers from the same exact fate. But regardless, these things are what's supposed to come out. So those are the releases for the month of December in the year 2021. I am excited about some of these things, less so about others, but we'll see how things turn out. I'm really hoping I get that Roger Rabbit Steelbook. That's on my list to try and track down. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Did I miss something that you guys are anticipated checking out? Like I said, comment and let me know, and that'll give me a better idea what types of movies that my subscribers are interested in. Thank you for watching this video. Look forward to the release video for next month. And if you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm Geechu64, and I always tell you the truth.